behalf of the government to be able to officially cut the ribbon that will commission and officially say that to show that this office is now officially open. May it be, as the Tamtalai said, may it be a place that people come to for the resolution of their issues, and may the people that work in this office do their work to the best of their abilities to provide the best service to the people. Good morning, everybody. Susana Bonapaturangan Abatile, Bonarlet to Nadi, the Madam Permanent Secretary, Dr. Rachel Tang, Wanturan Lesis Timbosevic, Reverend David Ramakasoi Kete, Taltal and Namaka Second. It's good to make the acquaintance again. We come from the same part, we brought up in the same part of Vitile, so I'm glad that we can meet again today. Members of the staff of the ministry, members of the community here in Nadi and Simatoka, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to be with you this morning. I'm always glad to come down to Nadi. It's like it's brilliant sunshine today, probably an indication of what Nadi provides, not just only for itself, but for the rest of this country. So, everybody, as for the excellent words of the Sibsib Vinavalev, may evaluate the sini kuat. Kalim chicken the Baba Benak. And the Nobu Benadum, the Belinitsi, and the Nubichu, and the Sibuch, and the Lala, and the Matan Sini connected to make Karabichi and the Lavi, and the Van Bolabo, the Kamada Ningeli, and Sasavara. I'm trying to looking for some notes that I've sent to myself or here. I'm always glad to be in Nadi, as I said, because Nadi is a very important part of our country. It has a very important role in everything that happens in this country, especially now. And you know, in our country, we've been through some really tough times over the past 2 years. Past 2 years, 3 years. We have, people have addressed it as probably the toughest times economically that this country has faced since it's become an independent nation. But the things that COVID has brought to us has been, we've all felt the impact of COVID right across the country. And soon after COVID, we've had this Ukraine war, Ukraine-Russia war, that has also brought in a lot of inflation, has brought in a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties for all of our people all across our country. So that's why, and we know that one of the biggest things that has impacted our country, the things that have happened to this part of Fiji, in terms of COVID, the devastation that it has had on the tourism sector, on the employment of people in this country, which has had a big impact on what we've been able to do in this country over the years. But we've been through those tough times. I think 9 years been through it, we've been through it, and we are getting over these, we are getting over the difficulties that COVID and the Ukraine war has brought upon us for a number of reasons. First of all, when we have difficulties like that, difficulties where, for instance, in our government in Fiji, the income that government used to collect from taxation was reduced by half, which means we have to continue to deliver service in an environment where you did not have the money to be able to fund it, largely because tourism disappeared during the aftermath of COVID. During those sorts of times, we needed strong and decisive leadership. Strong and decisive leadership to make the tough calls on things that need to be done, even when a lot of people were against it. And that's one of the reasons that we are able to get out of that. Strong and decisive leadership of the Prime Minister and the calls that he made. The other thing that helped us to get over the tough times that we've had from COVID and also the results of the impact of the war is the assistance from our development partners, many of whom stepped in to help our country. And the third very important reason, one of the third very important things that allowed us to get out of this, because most of our people bought in to the call for government for all of us to be vaccinated. Most of the people of this country, I think of our adult population, maybe 98 or 99% of the people that needed to be vaccinated have been vaccinated. And it is because of this that we've been able to get our economy back on track, because of those three things. So one of the things that I want to say today to all of us that are here, thank you for being part of that movement to make Fiji safe again from COVID. And as a result of that, we see this whole Nadi sector, people in this area are beginning to be employed again. A few weeks ago, I was in the hotels in Tenarau, talking to people that they're so grateful that they can have their employment back. People, some of them, they tell me that they were planting food up in the highlands here. Now that they're back in employment, they're very grateful for that. And as I say again, I'm very grateful for all of you that heeded government's call to get vaccinated. Today we are vaccinated, our airports are open. There are other airports in the world of major countries where they don't have the free flow of people that we have, like in this country. Now we're getting major conferences into this country that are not being held in other countries because we have opened up. Why is it that we have opened up? Strong, decisive leadership, assistance from our development partners, and our people getting together to make sure that they abided by the calls from government to get vaccinated and to abide by the decisions that government has made. Government has been very forthright in addressing COVID-19. When people were saying no lockdown, government decided to lock down. When government decided that we should open up, other people were saying that we should continue to lock down. We opened up, we managed the situation, and this is where we are. And in all of this, tourism is very important for our country. Tourism, there are two major things that have been very important for us over the years. In the past decades, it's always been sugar. And over the past few years, sugar has been overtaken by service industries, including tourism. And here in Nadi, where this office operates, we're right in the heart of the tourism belt. Now in this office, we look after Nadi and Singatoka. And this is where tourism really takes place. So that's why I talk about the importance of this particular office, because it's right at the heart of what we need to do in our country to get back on track. Recently, you have seen that we've had the budget that has been the new budget for the financial years of 2022-2023. In launching the budget and in delivering the budget address in Parliament, the Attorney General had talked about the two major aims of this government, two major aims of the budget. A budget is basically government's plan for the next year. It sets out government's plan. And in that budget, there's two major things that it talks about. One, inflation mitigation. Inflation mitigation. As we know now, the prices of everything have gone up since the Ukraine war, since COVID-19. So one of the major roles of the government will be to try to reduce the impact of the inflation on those that are the most disadvantaged in our society. That is one of the roles. The second major focus of the government is to grow, to do as much as we can to grow our country, to grow the amount of wealth that we create, because the amount of wealth that we create is then used to better the lives of our people. For inflation mitigation, there's been a lot of things that government has been doing over the years, and especially for helping the most vulnerable in our society. We know that we already have in place subsidies for people that are earning less than 30,000 in their families. They can get subsidized water, they can get subsidized electricity. Over the past 8 years and 10 years or so, we've seen there's been a lot of emphasis by government on helping out our most vulnerable, our children, our women, our social welfare, our poverty assistance, helping out the physically handicapped, helping out pregnant mothers, helping out single mothers and children of single mothers, children brought up by grandparents. Money has been provided to be able to assist them for all of these people. We've had for the first time social pension now for people in villages who now can get $100 per month. Once again, this is the kind of emphasis that we have on the most vulnerable in our society. We have free medicine that has been provided. Under this new 2023 budget, we also have assistance for children of families earning $50,000 or less. It's $30 per week or the $1 per day. Assistance to those already on social welfare. Some members of the opposition have referred to this as freebies, basically suggesting by using that terminology that sort of assistance should not be provided to those who really need it. This government believes otherwise, believes that it is the role of government to be able to assist those that really need that assistance. Those that really need that assistance. People that oppose this, they are saying in another way that such people should either fend for themselves and sink or swim. Government says otherwise. Those that really need to be helped, immaterial of what their race is, immaterial of what their religion is, as long as they are a human being in this country that needs help, government must be prepared to help them. And that will continue to be the focus of government. Just as we did for the unemployment benefits during COVID-19, when people lost their jobs, measures were put in place to try to give them an income so that they can continue to serve. That will continue to be a focus of government. The other part of the government, the other part of the budget has been the emphasis on growth, to grow our economy, to grow our economy. The Honorable Reverend Tevida this morning talked about the importance for us to be able to use what God has provided us to do things that will benefit society at large. And that's basically what we are here for. We are here as stewards of this earth and to make the best productive use of what God has given us to give benefit to the people of the country. Everybody in this country. So there's a great emphasis on growth. And over the past few years, this morning as I was driving down, I think from Vatukarasa or just before Vatukarasa, coming all the way to Malevu, I saw the developments on the road. A lot of emphasis on improving the roads. And I also crossed the Mulu Bridge just before Malevu, which I commissioned a few weeks ago. If you go down on this part of the island, going all the way from here, all the way to Korbo, you will see that work is continuing on investing in roads, improving the roads. One bridge has been opened recently in Tavua, the Korbo Bridge. There are two other bridges that will be opened later on this year. The Yangara Bridge and I think the Tavua Level Bridge, the Tavua Bridge right next to it. There's another one up in Nasian. So what I'm trying to say, the budget continues to focus on the things that are important in this country, continue to grow. And Nadi is a very essential part of all of that. Because as I said, Nadi is one of the highest growing areas in Fiji in terms of business, in terms of investment, in terms of development. It is also at the heart of the tourism sector. It is also a very significant part of the sugar industry. So Nadi has a very special place in terms of the things that are happening in Fiji. So that's why I'm particularly glad that we can be here today. As you've heard the words from the Sevu that we're taking, that were being said today, we have, this is the second sort of development that we're doing in the West. We are opening up what we might call subsidiary or smaller offices, feeding in to our large divisional offices. The first one, as has been mentioned in the Sevu words, was done in the Raki and Dra. And this is the second one. And this, the opening of this Nadi office is aligned with the overall National Development Plan goals on structural reform. And under this structural reform program in our strategic National Development Plan, there are two particular components that are reflected in the opening of this office. First of all, in the land reform, one of the goals in land reform is enhancing land use administration through improving and strengthening the administration of the lease processes. So as part of that reform, a new office is being opened here to try to make it easier for people in this area. Nadi area and in the Singatoka area that will be covered by this particular office. And the other major reform that this new office is also part of is the civil service reform. In the civil service reform, one of the major components there is to decentralize services, to move services out so it's closer to people to wherever they are. And moving out the services that was initially only available in Lotoka and bring it here to Nadi moves it much closer to the people in the vicinity of Nadi, and also those from Singatoka will also be serviced from this area. And all part of this is to make it more convenient for our citizens in this country to get services from the ministry, and also so that they can spend less and get more output out of it. Spend less for more effective government services. As a result of the opening of these offices, now the lessees in Nadronga will not have to travel all the way to Lotoka for a distance of almost 90 kilometers. They will not have to travel all the way to Lotoka for any state land lease services. All state land lease services will now be offered in your hometown here in Nadi. So they address that Nadi area, and also all of those in between Nadi and Singatoka, all of that work will now be carried out here. The Nadi office will be responsible for delivering services to 5,685 lease files. 5,685 lease files. I was looking through the number of files that are served by our different offices. I can see that Nadi here is around 5,000. Other places, Lambasa 2,750, Rekanaki 1,409. Is it Central around 9,000? and northern around 2,700. So the number of files, the number of leases that are being serviced by Nadi here, I think it's around 30%. Is that correct? Yes. Around 30% of all leases will be served by this office. So it's a very significant part of what we do as a ministry, giving service to the people in this area. So of the 5,685 lease files for Nadi, 1,475 are for Sigatoka, and a team of 8 dedicated officials will be serving the 2 districts from this office, serving the Nadi area and serving the Sigatoka office. This Nadi office will carry on the normal operation of general customer services and groundwork, such as lease inspection and file submissions for new leases applications, for consent to land dealings, complaints, and general inquiries. General land inquiries, sorry. There will still be, please note that other services such as general land inquiries, survey services, foreshore applications, and gravel extraction applications will be received here at the Nadi office before they are referred to our Rotoka office for further processing. This office will still come under the purview of the Divisional Land Manager West, who is here with us this morning. But by bringing our services to the people of Namronga and Nadi, the ministry anticipates greater work efficiency and transparency, better governance, and encourages local development. We hope that all of us, that we will all work together not only to resolve issues and complaints, but moreover to effectively accomplish our vision of bringing life to our lessees and revitalize the potential here in Nadi and Namronga. So I look forward to having this office available. I invite everybody in the area, Nadi area, Sigatoka area, to make use of this office and to make use of those services. The people in our ministry will be expected to provide the best of their service to serve you, because that's what they are there for. We here in government are here to serve the people of our country. We will also, over the next few years, you will see recently we have, the ministry has introduced a My Lease app, where we encourage everybody to start getting information on your leases from your telephones. Over the next few months, we will begin to digitize all the other services that we have. So if you have access to a telephone, you'll be able to tap into a lot of our services without having to come to the office. But if you do have to come to the office, and you are in the Nadi area, Sigatoka area, now you will not have to travel all the way to Rotoka, you will be able to access this office. So with those few words, it's a great pleasure, it's a great honor for me this morning to be able to commission and to open the office that we have here at Nadi. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.